match number 1 with the commentaries, Wade Buck and Final Card.
Champions Field. The names of all past champions are enshrined on this map, and this weekend, 30 players will fight to add their names to that legacy. We've been waiting all year for this event right here, and we will crown our Season 4 World Champion. They come from all over the globe, Carmen.
Wayne Punk, this is an absolute treat for me to open up. I love getting to watch teams that I don't really get the honor to cast throughout the entire season. So getting to watch the #1 seed in the OCE, the OCE champions. You heard it from Yummy. They've won every single LAN that OCE has been able to put on. They're insane, and what things to really look out for, right? You've got Torsos, who carried them all the way through league play, but he dropped the ball in the regional finals. But who picked it up but Drippe, his teammate. So they both have the capacity and high pressure to really bring it up when they need to, but can they do it together? You've got Jake, their hard defender, but they're going against G2, the best defense in North America. They let in the fewest goals through all of league play in North America alone.
And they had to play quite hard. Chiefs, you heard it on the desk from Yummy. These guys are winning literally everything that happens in the OCE region. So can they take it to the fan favorites of North America, G2? Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise, get up and get loud. It's game day here for the World Championships of Season 4. The Chiefs eSports in the orange, G2 in the blue, a best of 5. Best of 5s all day today. So with the pass to JNaps. Gonna make a play early on, puts it over the top of Torsos, and G2 strikes first.
An unfortunate bump on the side, Drippe and Jake smashing into each other. Jake would have easily had that ball, but a little miscommunication and a little off on their position. They will bump each other and leave it wide open. JNaps in a 1v1 situation will not let that slide.
Early on, striking here in the first 30 seconds. It's been a trend this season. Players scoring in the first minute. JNaps off the kickoff, trying to make it 2-0 immediately, but well defended. We will see Chiefs now with an opportunity to break out onto offense. Clear into the corner, met by JNaps. He's got Rizzo and Kronovi shadowing behind. The ball over the top. Drippe can put this through, and he does so, tying it up in the first minute.
Drippe contesting this well, just taking it right off of JNaps. You saw the faith that Kronovi and Rizzo both had in him, trying to cheat up, pull out of net, but Drippe making sure to stuff that right in Rizzo, leaving him no options. Rizzo had to touch it or he'd have a perfect shot, but it didn't matter. He cut off the options and tied the game only 30 seconds in.
Excellent 50-50. Drippe strikes for Chiefs. Torsos onto the wall. Drippe to follow quickly. Rizzo must be outdone this time. Lofting it high. Torsos now onto the back wall, and Kronovi take it away. On alongside the pass inside. Torsos on the pass from Drippe. High. Rizzo does not make contact. JNaps and Kronovi have to play defense. Rizzo comes off the wall, plays it to the corner. The pressure continues here for Chiefs.
Just looking at stats alone, G2 need to make sure they bring up this defense. Chiefs have the highest shooting percentage in the world. Torsos, an individual, the highest in the world, nearly 50%, just short of that, so they really need to be careful of letting him take those shots.
Kronovi with a dangerous loft. Torsos up to try and make contact. Will not be able to drop it into the net. Kronovi picks it up. The fake gets past Jake and gets the dunk on Drippe all the way to the box, but loses control. Torsos lofted high, try to buy some time for his team here. Rizzo now looking for the redirect. It doesn't go in. Can the clear come through? There's Torsos to send it away. They'll dodge that second goal.
We're watching G2 struggle to get on offense, and they can't get back to defense. Rizzo won't be able to make it in time, and Drippe will put them in the lead.
Puts it over the top, and Chiefs take the first lead here. The OCE region, Season 4, over the top of Rizzo, straight in, 3:30 left to go. We got a ball game.
The question coming in, who will carry, Drippe or Torsos? Drippe now 2 shots and 2 goals. He's already got 100% shooting percentage, and he's got both the goals for his team. He is starting off strong.
Torsos has had a few opportunities, difficult ones, but this is the best of the OCE region. Send it over the side. Torsos now to follow along. 3:17 left on the clock here in game number 1. A 1-goal lead from Chiefs. Gonna make it 2. A shot on net blocked by JNaps. Down to midfield from Kronovi, picking it up. JNaps with the redirect up onto the crossbar, but a good read from Jake, sends it away, and Torsos lets him piece the ball. Following along in the air. JNaps and Kronovi waiting on the ground. Getting ground pinched and all the way on the back by himself. Looks to pass it inwards, but Jake intercepts in the corner. Able to play it back in the middle. G2 looking to tie up this ball game as we approach halftime.
And we spoke about it before. JNaps really a hard carry for his team when they need him. They have to make sure not to rely too much on him, though. This is a lot of pressure for him. His first time on the RLCS stage. It's So his teammates need to make sure they can help support him in what he can do.
Novi, you heard them on the desk, undefeated here at LAN. Never dropped a series. That dates back all the way to season 1. He was able to win it all. He can do it again here. One of 2 players at World Championship who has a chance to repeat their title. JNAPS over the top, we've crossed halftime, and it's still Chiefs with the 1-goal lead. G2 pressuring in the corner now. Novi leading the offense in the 1 roll. Rizzo will look for bumps in net. Doesn't find any, but JNAPS in the corner trying to set it over for Novi. Drops back in the middle. Here comes Rizzo. Shot towards net is wide. It'll go away. Warsaw's out in the 1. Vast majority of goals from Chiefs coming on infield passes and bumps. So look for them to get physical in the box. See Jay chasing JNAPS down, just trying to zone him out. He won't make contact. Warsaw's shot, well defended, sent away. 1:30 left on the clock. Still the 1-goal lead for Chiefs.
Both teams are playing patient, and the stats show it. Only 5 shots for Chiefs and 2 for G2. They've only done 2 shots. 1 of them went in. They are struggling to a degree, but they don't want to put up useless shots. Here you go, JNAPS slowing it down.
Trying to get it to Kronovi, but intercepted well by Jake and sent away. G2 has to fall back on defense. Tripe will look to connect with Jake. Intercepted by Rizzo. Kronovi will back off and allow Rizzo to move up, and Warsaw's gets there first. Now JNAPS in the air, meeting with Jake. 50-50, 1 out and into the box. Tripe lost it high, but it's not out of danger just yet. Here comes Kronovi. Shot upper 90 is wide, and Tripe will add some pace to it. But Rizzo putting it back in. Final minute here of game number 1. JNAPS up, takes the shot towards the goal, defended by Torsas. 2 defenders up, and they go right back down. They'll hold on to this defensive wall, and they'll get the clear.
They're taking good shots, but they weren't stuffing them out of their boost. Chiefs had plenty of boost to deal with that, but now in a counterattack, they might be trying their best to get some more.
One more pressure mounting from G2, but that miss from Kronovi opens up the net. The shot is just wide for Torsas, and G2 now having to play defense in this final minute. They have to carry this one away if they want to be able to tie it up and send us to overtime. 1 dunk by Kronovi. Dripe will pick it up in the corner. Midfield pressure. Rizzo held off a little bit there, and that gave space to Dripe and Torsas. 14 seconds remaining, down by 1. G2. Inaugural game of season 4. Jake's gonna secure it here with another goal. 3-1 Chiefs.
Not just the defender, but able to read players even here at midfield. Jake reading that off the wall. Kronovi unable to get it past him. He puts it right in. In a situation like that, to be fair, G2 were just looking to get any kind of offense. They just needed to take a shot. 10 seconds left, 1 goal down. 2 or 1, it doesn't really matter. You'll lose either way.
Put that one through in the final 10 seconds here. Unless an immediate kickoff goal happens, it's going to be Chiefs taking game number 1 in the best of 5. Got to do it 2 more times to drop G2 to the lower bracket. But what a display here by the OCE champions.
You'll see the OCE champions opening up with a win in the very first series here in the Season 4 World Championship. Dripe really taking it to his team, only taking 2 shots on net, and both of them sinking in. G2, it seems like they're struggling to pull it out. They want to be patient. Don't take useless shots on, even though in the previous LAN we'd seen that OCE kind of struggled on defense. They've clearly turned that around. And just to talk about how tight the OCE side was, there was a 4-way tie for first place when they're, or at least as far as records are concerned, at a 5-2 when their season was over.
Right.
So everything was tight. Everyone had to play till the bitter end, and you'll see the Chiefs come out on top. G2, an incredible season, 6-1. They only lost once. The only team to beat every other North American team here in league play. So they have the record to show it as well. But again, don't rely too much on JNAPS. He was a big carry for them. They have to be very careful how they move forward.
When we started off the series talking about the defense of G2 and how strong it is here in North America. We talked about the offense of the OCE region and talking about offense of Chiefs. We didn't really talk about their defense, but I was impressed by their defense, especially towards the end of that game when we really saw G2 putting on the pressure. And the very first goal goes in, and Torsas, you see the bump over in the corner from Chiefs, and Torsas and net unable to do anything with JNAPS' touch. It looks like this game is going to be cleanly going to G2's favor, but they immediately bounce back and are able to get the win.
And when you think about it, G2's only goal was on that bump mistake. They were unable to outplay the Chiefs. And even when they had a lot of shots, I'd noticed Chiefs still had plenty of boost. They were still able to get to a lot of the saves. So where is that disconnect? Are they not able to actually grab the corner boost? Are they not getting the bumps they need? I imagine G2 is going to take this game clean, but it's a best of 5. Chiefs have 2 more to take it. G2 have all 3.
Game number 2. Can G2 bounce back? Dropping game number 1. Ball goes into the box and clear for JNAPS. Immediately putting it back. Excellent touch. Drop here from Rizzo to JNAPS looking for the shot. Blocked away by Torsas. Yep. Now Kronovi following along. Pass into the middle. One there to pick it up. Both these teams characterized a lot by infield passes. There's a big stylistic difference in their offenses. It's the ability for the clutch plays, the solo plays from G2. And we haven't seen Chiefs rely on as much. As we saw last game, very strong players. Good bump by Kronovi, nearly the first goal for G2.
There it is, though. You can see they've recognized it. They're struggling to get past defense, so why not just remove it?
Oh, and here comes a shot from Drippe. A miss off the backboard gives Chiefs the lead in the first minute.
Something they relied on a bit too much last season, but now it seems they know exactly when to do it. Kronovi caught down too low, and Jake saw it. He put it high just above net, forcing Kronovi as a defender to come all the way across, as he may have actually made that save had it been on target. So smart on him to hit it just above net, and they'll find themselves in the lead just under a minute in.
Drippe put that upper 92 away from the other defenders. It wasn't even close to being well defended, but just in case. Nice polish there from Drippe. Take a lead here in game 2. Kronovi in towards Rizzo. Redirected to the corner, off it high. Slow follow from Drippe. 50-50 into the middle. Rizzo now moving up in the one roll. Gets the dunk over the top. Kronovi could possibly make the shot. He's got Forsauce to deal with. Bolt stay grounded. J-Naps in the corner trying to play it over the top of Drippe. Out to midfield. G2 having to retreat onto defense.
Something Yummy was telling me, they call Jake a robot because nothing phases him. So no matter what happens, no matter how much pressure's on them, you look to see him be as consistent as he can. And G2 right now, they are getting a lot more in control in this game, but they're already a goal down.
3:17 left to go. Pass one, Drippe moves in. Jams following, wheel to wheel up on the wall. 50-50, one out by Forsauce all the way back. Rizzo has to make a last-ditch effort. Played away. Forsauce across the pitch, J-Naps now moving up on the wall. Rizzo just down below. Ball back on defense. Any 50-50s being won out here cleanly by Chiefs, which is giving them a significant amount of ball control. Kronovi looking for a shot. Rizzo looking for the zone, but Drippe unfazed, gets the clear, and now a shot on net, puts it through. Chiefs up 2-0.
G2 just don't seem to be looking for each other. A lot of their touches don't have many answers. You'll see Jane up there, no one backing him. Even that first touch all the way up on offense towards the net, it was centered, but to who? No one was there for it. Rizzo didn't turn around, so it just gave the Chiefs all the room, all the midfield to play, and a team of this caliber will always take advantage.
Approaching halftime, Chiefs in complete control here in game number 2. Jake will look to pass up to Drippe. Backs off, Kronovi gets a clear from the corner. J-Naps following along. Got Rizzo in the midfield to work with. Looks for the pass over the top of one. He'll look for the redirect over the 2. Beautiful play from G2 as they get on the board.
Seeing them slow it down several times, it's nice to finally see it pay off. J-Naps baiting Forsauce into a situation he couldn't reach, and Rizzo putting it just over that final defender, Drippe, trying to come across. They put themselves only 1 goal away just past halftime.
And an important goal too. The 3-0 deficit, very difficult to come back from. G2 avoiding that here, and at halftime as well. Got a ball game here in game number 2. Zones in net, Rizzo onto the backboard, and follow along, gets it under 2, but Drippe sends it away at the goal line. Another shot from Kronovi. This one will go in. The clears come through, and we got a tie game.
I think Rizzo going for Drippe here, getting a bump on his way out. Drippe sitting in a good place, but Rizzo getting him just in time, not allowing him to get that nice lob towards the net, and we will see a tie game just over 2 minutes.
Beautiful comeback here by G2. Anyone's ball game. Kick off from G2. The top of Drippe onto the backboard. Scored 3 unanswered here. This one in off the kickoff. Off the tie, Jake's there first over the top of J-Naps. On the back wall with the clear. So demoed in net. Forsauce shot towards goal. It's just Kronovi in the back, and he'll make the clear to the side. Off the top of J-Naps, these 50-50s from Chiefs being won out consistently right now.
A lot of that has to do with pacing as well. They seem to be a little more on top of things, always about half a step ahead, but there was a shot almost followed up by Kronovi, but just off target.
Just barely wide. Both shots there from G2 that would have given them the lead. They're gonna have to try and push back out again, but Kronovi will have ball control here. To fake out Drippe, but he tackles outright. He knows he's got Forsauce behind him, but the pass from Rizzo to J-Naps. Shot towards net, and Forsauce goes up, gets it away. Kronovi now into the box. Jake demoed in his own backfield, but the clears come through, and he'll have time to respawn and get reset up on defense.
I really like what G2 is doing. They're slowing it down to the midfield so that it's forcing Chiefs to have to hesitate, think about their decision, and then they're going for bumps as well. So it's really just choking up whatever they had planned.
Rizzo, long shot, double commitment from Chiefs. Put it clear all the way to the corner. space right back out and look for boost. A soft touch. Open the pass to Jake, but he hangs back, respecting the position of JNAPS and knowing the ground clear was coming through. Back up there, Drippe through again. Scored both goals so far this game for Chiefs. We talked about it at the end of the season. It was Drippe who was the carry for Chiefs. We're trying to do that again here. A demo again on Drippe. JNAPS to try and put it in. 20 seconds remaining here. We're tied up. Getting into silver gold territory. You don't score here in regulation. We're going to go to overtime. Jacob now on net. JNAPS in, puts it through, and G2's got the lead.
The communication from G2 really has solidified. Another bump on net will give them this goal. Jake, he grounded himself. You know how reactionary of a defender he is, but it doesn't matter if he's not grounded and not in net. With 12 seconds left, G2 will find themselves in the lead.
I called him Jacob and just realized there are two Jacobs. That won't be confusing at all later. 8 seconds left. The Chiefs tie it up once again. Will the 3-goal comeback for G2 hold? Drippe with a nice shot up onto the backboard, cleared to the side by Kronobi. Torsas in, puts it up again, but Kronobi again shutting him down, putting it back away. They keep it alive, but they've got a lot of work to do if they want to get this one all the way back. A nice setup from the midfield. Torsas up to the loft here. Drippe moving up, and he's got Jake to work with, but shut down by JNAPS. G2's defense finally shows up, holds on, and they get a 3-goal comeback.
I really have to give it to them. Their counterattacks are quick and precise. They know exactly who's doing what, who's taking the shot, who's going to try and block, who's going to try and shove out that defender, and who follows everything up. So G2 are turning things around, but you can see for the Chiefs, Drippe have 4 of their 5 goals so far. So clearly, of the 2 between him and Torsas, we figured, hey, who is going to make the carry? It clearly so far has to be Drippe, but his teammates are always there to support. Jake is there, hard on defense, always making sure that they're not smothered too much from the G2, but it's that counterattack. They don't give him any time to figure out who's going where on defense. G2 is just there on the attack immediately.
Yeah, they were able to bounce back here, especially on the offensive side of things. We saw such a discrepancy in the shots last game with G2 only getting 3, Chiefs getting about 7 here. 8-7 between the two. Very, very even game. And it kind of was a first half, second half sort of game. That first goal from Chiefs or from G2 coming in right around just past halftime, and then they scored 2 more, coming back, making a 3-goal comeback there, and now we have a tie series.
And a big thing for me, Chiefs starting off that game in the lead, and G2 still able to keep their composure, and that's a big part of it. Talking about the stat that Kronobi has never really lost at LAN, I mean, that was like 3 seasons ago. It was a long time ago. So while that is a nifty stat for him to have, this is a lot of weight on him because he's been trying to get back here ever since that win. He has not been back here since he was crowned champion, and this is huge for him.
Well, and you know who has won many champions since that time? Chiefs. They win everything there, and everything that happens in OCE oftentimes is a LAN. So they have so much experience playing in front of crowds. Maybe not a crowd of this size and of this sort of stature for the RLCS LAN, but they were here last season. They got that experience under their belt, and now to try and take a win here in match number 1. We're gonna have to find 2 more wins. We've tied it up in a game apiece. A drop shot from Drippe goes in. They score first again.
He really is here to play. Drippe getting as high as he can for this, really taking his time on that calculation, dropping it under JNAPS. JNAPS reacted as fast as he possibly could from the situation that he was in. He had to take that extra half a second to react because he was from the net. It's so much harder to read, but Drippe, just such a solid player.
What a beautiful angle, too.
Yeah.
Scoring in the first minute continues. Common trend here. Drop it in the middle, a demolition from Rizzo. Kronobi not in a position to shoot. Well, it was an otherwise open net. He gets it past Jake, and now past Torsas. Drippe is up. JNAPS puts it high. Torsas will be here with the ball, but Rizzo able to get it over the top of him.
You can see how effective that demolition was. Even if it didn't immediately result in a shot, it still forced the Chiefs to try and recalibrate. Where are we all? Who are we covering? What angles do we have?
So nearly able to find Torsas here, and 2 players. A beautiful setup by JNAPS. Kronobi ties the game.
They're really trying to suffocate Chiefs right now. You can see them just following up every single clear, every touch. Torsas a bit weak. He would have liked to push that to the corner because it cuts off so many more angles for your opponents to either pass and or shoot. He dropped it kind of in that awful death zone right in the box, and G2 were able to follow up and keep this game tied.
Looks like that we've seen a little bit of positioning errors from Chiefs, and Jake to drop it down. The double tap puts it through, and Chiefs is back in the lead.
Watch how fast he changes his trajectory. The moment it hits the ceiling, he turns straight down, follows it all the way across the backboard. Rizzo just a deer in the headlights. There is no saving that, and they will find themselves in the lead again.
Yeah, he's the defender for sure. Look at that play. All by himself. Now G2 back at a deficit. Very different games between games 2 and 3. We'll look to tie it up. They got a lot more time to work with than in game number 1. Kronovi driving a nice soft shot underneath one. Torsas, Drippe able to tag team. Defensive situation. Jake gets bumped in the corner here, and this one still working his way into the box. JF with the tackle, Rizzo with the shot. Drippe gets the shot off his own crossbar, gets it away. Kronovi puts it up, but Drippe again to save it. And Chiefs defense holding on as G2 doing everything they can to tie up this game.
They want to keep the pressure on. The clock is ticking. You can suck the boost out of them if you can keep this up. But right now, 2 of 3 OCE players have nearly full boost. So it's going to be tough for G2 to keep this up without threatening their own net.
Yeah, for the effective siege, you got to get the boost starve going as well. Chiefs have been able to keep their tanks full. Ball across his midfield line. Chiefs will be looking to play some offense. Unfortunately, Drippe opens up some space. It's just Jake in the back right now. Rizzo moving up, being patient. Tackle comes through as Drippe spawned in behind. Shot from Kronovi, defended by Torsas. Everybody getting involved on the Chiefs defense. Trying to hold on to this lead, taking the lead back in the series. Rizzo up alongside Jake, drops it soft, but right onto the hood of Torsas, and he'll play it away.
G2 really has absolute control. 8 shots for them and only 2 for Chiefs. They've really turned it around since this series has started.
Using the ceiling effectively. Jake now up to try and put it back into the blue. Right here at halftime, still the 2-1 lead for Chiefs. The long shot starting to be coming through. A bit more. Drippe with another one. Kronovi with the save. Can he get it out? J-Naps helps him out as the ball nearly was in. We'll stay at 2-1.
That was huge for them. To be 2 goals down is so much harder for teams to try and bounce back from. And now, with their counterattack capabilities, they may be able to tie this up shortly.
So much shooting happening from this midfield, from outside the box from Chiefs. Forcing G2 to change up their defensive positioning. Now up on the wall in the orange corner. Looking to drop it into the box, cleared by Torsas, and Jake's right there just to immediately transition it out. Jams gets a pass towards Rizzo. He's going to go up and follow it himself, but it goes into the corner. Torsas intercepts. Kronovi now on the ceiling. He could drop this one by himself if he does it right, but Jake has the read, says, nope, get that one away. The offense continuing here for G2. But so far, nothing that the Chiefs defense can't handle. A shot from J-Naps, power shot upper corner. Drippe clears it away. It was wide anyways, but he's able to add the pace to the corner. And now Jake looking to transition back out with some help from Torsas.
G2 just a few shots being a tad bit off target have really made them suffer a bit. I think this game could have been tied had a couple more shots been closer to net and a bit overthreatened. Torsas nearly putting that one in the back of the net.
You saw Rizzo prowling on the back wall. He knew he had to make the play, and he does so. They really need, with how much time is left in this game, that 1 goal difference is very important. If it gets up to 2, the game's going to be all but over for G2. They need all the time they can get. They need to be playing at the 0-second time. The shot from Rizzo blocked by Drippe and straight onto the hood of Jake. And sends it across the field.
You mentioned it, Wade. Chiefs contest game right now. Their 50-50s are amazing. They have won so many of them, which really just lets them stop G2 from pushing onto them.
J-Naps looking for Rizzo. Ball back, and look at this clear from Drippe the entire length of the field. To the left, that would have been a goal. Drippe with another shot. This one cleared by Rizzo. Final 30 seconds of game number 3. Winner of this game takes match point. There's 1 win away from moving on to the upper bracket. Kronovi with the clear. J-Naps will look to add some pace. He's got 2 players to deal with here. Look for the pass from Rizzo over the top of Jake. Kronovi lurking in midfield as Torsas puts it to the corner. Final 10 seconds, G2 still down by 1. Creative back pass from Rizzo. J-Naps with the follow shot towards net. Can Torsas get there? Can they get the finish? Oh! Cleared to the side by Drippe. It was a bit high. They could still do this as they wrap it around. Kronovi in the midfield could possibly make the shot, but he's not there, and Chiefs will take the lead.
Ladies and gentlemen, the #1 OCE team is 1 game away from taking G2 and putting them into the lower bracket immediately, starting off in this tournament. We can see the Chiefs really having a lot of control. G2 are noticing it though. Once they spread out too far, they're noticing the Chiefs are always in the way, and every time you watch G2 try, they think to themselves, hey, let's finally get it onto offense. The moment that happens, they have to turn right back around onto defense. So what did they do? They started shortening up, making their passes a bit closer to pull out that 1 Chiefs defender to now make it a 3v2. You do that a couple more times, and obviously, you're gonna have a slightly better situation when you have a 3v1 or 2v1. G2 recognized that towards the very end of the game, so I'd like to see them pull that out. Shorter passes, pull out the defenders. Obviously, the Chiefs have figured it out since last season. They know how to defend, and Jake being so reactionary, always there clutch for his team, but it doesn't matter because his teammates are there with him too.
Well, in the way that the goals went in here in game number 3, it felt very similar to game number 1, but very different ball control here as we saw Chiefs have twice as many shots as G2 in game number 1, and then they had even shots in game number 2, and now here, G2 with 11 to the 6, or the 5 from Chiefs, actually coming out with about half, or about twice as many as Chiefs, so still very, very different games here between these two teams, yet Chiefs able to find it twice, and don't forget, last LAN, this was how things started off too. Chiefs dropping denial in the first match of day number 1. They could do it to G2 here. How incredible would a start would that be, the OCE region?
This is do or die for G2 at this point. If they do not take this win, they will be pushed to the lower bracket in the first series of the day.
Game 4. G2's been trying for 3 seasons to get back to this stage. Do not want to start off with a loss. Initial kickoff, remaining mostly neutral here. Jake put it up. He got a double tap last game. Won't happen this time. Rizzo to Kronovi. Slow ball played 50-50 from Jake. JNaps had gotten just a little bit more air. The ball could have just rolled in. Torsas' shot is just wide. That crazy shooting percentage we saw from Torsas during the regular season, not really showing up here just yet, but Jake and Drippe have been making up for it in every single way, and they as a unit have been playing so well.
The playstyles seem to be a little bit flip-flop. Usually we've seen Chiefs going for a lot more bumps and demolitions, but now we see G2 doing that. Generally they had a strong defense and had good counterattacks, but we see not as strong of a defense here as the Chiefs seem to be in control of an offensive amount, but G2, a lot of those creative demolitions, which I think is opening up space for them.
They try to drop it out of his box. JNaps puts it right back in. Demolition on a Jake. JNaps' last 2 pushes on the offense were win his touch and then look for a defender. Working out right now as G2's been able to hold on to the offense. First time this series we won't see a goal scored in the first minute. JNaps inside, picked up by Jake, put it to the corner. Kronovi, pitch it high. Out of the corner, it's past Torsas, just 2 in the back here. Kronovi looks for the slow play, underneath 1. Jake patiently waited. He'll just be able to move out. Kronovi lost ball control. Now going for the patient plays himself. Rizzo, winning the touch and putting it up, and Torsas with the read, now into the corner. This first goal could be critical. Torsas looking for the zone on Kronovi. Drippe to pass towards Jake, but the clear comes through from Kronovi. Okay, that one right back up on the offense here for G2.
It feels that G2 are a little bit timid, but here Kronovi potentially getting a pop-up, but no third there to follow. A little bit timid to really dedicate to the offensive attempt.
Oh, Drippe to Torsas, and then Drippe again. Jake moved up as well, but he's not able to push the ball forward. Just lofts it, which buys time for Torsas and Drippe to fall back, pick up boost, and have a clean defensive positioning. Good setup. Chiefs will unused. Jake back down to the box. JNaps picks this one up. He's got a point in. Torsas chasing him. And then pass Drippe into the corner. Over the top of 1. Jake there. Carry intercepted by Rizzo to get a second touch here. Doesn't make it. Torsas can clear outwards, but JNaps down and under. Drippe got zoned out hard by Rizzo, who gets the assist here, and G2's got the lead.
There it is again, the communication. Rizzo knowing he had the bump. JNaps, his only goal, just put it anywhere on target. Doesn't matter how slow, how fast, just get it into net. Rizzo will take care of the rest, doing the heavy-duty work, pushing out the defender, and they'll find themselves in the lead.
Critical goal for G2 here in game 4 on match point. Lead critically important right now. JNaps off the pass from Rizzo, tries to drop it underneath. Kronovi's there, but it's just a bit high. Can Rizzo finish it off? No, Torsas puts the dominance in the way. Jake will try and get there, but doesn't have it. The fake comes through, and Kronovi makes it 2-0.
I need to know if Rizzo did this on purpose. Another bump in net. Rizzo just trying to, I think he was just going for net, but he manages to slam Jake out. Actually had a trajectory onto that ball. G2, everyone in the box, all 3 of them really going hard for that, knowing they had control. 2 goals up for G2.
Utterly beautiful play. Still innovating in the bump game here at the LAN. I'll be up on the wall at 150-50. Important for G2. We're winning those touches if they want to see game 5. Right now, Chiefs trying to put it away in 4. Torsas doing work to move this ball down the field. Got it blocked. Jake into the corner. He'll find the angle, and Drippe a shot, upper 90, beautiful placement, and just the setup all the way down the wall by Chiefs makes it a 1-goal game.
Drippe's trying to take Torsau's record on just being unbelievably accurate. Another one shot and 1 goal. That's his first registered shot of the game. He took his time for it, put it directly under the crossbar, out of the way of all of the G2 defenders that were right in front of him. Now only a 1-goal game for them looks a lot more possible.
We'll see if they can make the comeback G2 did in game number 2. 3 goals straight. Torsau's underneath Krnovi, Rizzo up on the wall. Strong backboard play from Rizzo all series. Puts us high, swaps it past JNaps. Rizzo up early. Gets past 1, straight onto the hood of Drippe. Now the pitch to the far corner. Back down, JNaps over 1. Goes the slow play, Drippe, excellent read. Reading the flick. JNaps is there. It gets past Torsau. This one's going to roll to the corner. Final minute. Burning time off the clock, favoring G2 right now as they hold on to this lead.
Jake's trying to pull out one more defender. You'll look to see Rizzo at this point probably just sitting on that back line. No point in dedicating to anything. You're 1 goal up under a minute. Rizzo tends to be their hard defender. He'll probably be staying back for the rest of this game.
We're hanging in net right now. Go up first. It's past Drippe. Following along. Picked up off Jake and then look for the bump. Not going to find it. Jake and Drippe look for the pitch. Shot going wide. 3-man back for G2. JNaps is trying to play it around Drippe. Rizzo has to make this touch, but Torsau's there for it. Drippe comes through as well, but just a bit high in what would have been a tying goal. And now JNaps, he'll just carry this one along all by himself, trying to burn as much time off the clock as he can. He needs the clock to hit 0 to see game 5. Torsau's in the corner. He got the setup on their first goal. Can he get it again? Drippe out to Jake. The shot is sucked down by Rizzo. Krnovi to push it across that midfield line, and he'll keep that ball on the ground. G2 sends us to game 5.
A display from Chiefs there at the very end, but a little too late. G2 will tie up the series, bringing it all the way to game 5. The final game, whoever takes this will move on to the uppers. The other will go to the lowers already in their first series, which is a bit crushing. You saw Chiefs so close. They had the open net, but he just couldn't put it on target. But they know they have the capacity to do it. Even when they're under, even when they're down in the game, they can bring it when they need to.
The creative plays here. I'm with you on the Rizzo situation of him bumping Jake as he was moving to net. Like, was it on purpose?
Yeah.
Very difficult to tell, but beautifully effective in the way he was able to eliminate that last defender and give them the lead here. Oh man, game 5 impact.
And when you just look at the style, this is what we saw from league play for G2. JNaps was pretty much the striker. He was the one that was there for everything. He was doing assists and goals. Krnovi was there to really help JNaps. He's gotten a lot more selfless since we've seen in Season 1. If anyone really hasn't watched in Season 1, Krnovi really has adopted a much more selfless team-style play where he's always giving it to JNaps, always there in support. And Rizzo has always been that third man. He's confident. Sometimes he loses that here and there when there's a lot of pressure on, but he's there to be that third man. Just let Krnovi and JNaps do what they do best, and he's always cool and collected on the back.
The one thing I want to see from Chiefs here in this last game, their bump game in the OCE region was very, very strong and very effective at getting them goals. We haven't seen that really come through. Rosalie's just been shot placement and winning 50-50s, which is kind of the cleanest way to play Rocket League. But they've been going for the bumps and not really translating them into goals. So we'll see if they can bring that one out here as we move on to Utopia Coliseum. G2, we've gone back and forth here. Taking turns winning the games, but we got to stop at some point, and it's going to stop here in game 5. JNaps scoring first in the first 9 seconds.
It's going to be huge for them in game number 5. JNaps right off of kickoff, which again, we've seen it so much this season. Drippe just stuck down on the ground. He had 50 boost, but again, you had to wait for that final touch as a defender. You don't want to pre-jump, especially when you're facing backwards, which is probably one of the worst directions to face. But if you pre-jump too early, then the offender has full control of you. We had to wait, but the shot was fast.
We've seen a few goals from G2 being scored on the more defensive positioning, like micro positioning, exactly how the car is positioned, eliminating the defender. Now Chiefs find themselves at a deficit. Jake trying to tie it up early. Rizzo gets it clear. Bump on Torsau. JNaps and Rizzo tag teaming it, getting it around Drippe, getting a demolition as well. Jake comes from the corner. Rizzo, he'll steal that boost from Drippe right as he spawns. Maybe a little drive as he moves over. JNaps in the middle. Rizzo patiently waiting out Torsau as he falls. Down to the corner. The pinch off of the underside of Jake. G2 so aggressive here in game number 1. The first minute's going to come and go, and it's been all G2 on the offense.
No hesitation from them, but a couple of whiffs will give the Chiefs a bit more pressure. Now we'll see Drippe try and solo carry this out, putting it on target actually with JNaps. forced to go across.
Sends it away. Taking there, 2 players up and missing. Drippe's shot a bit high. Not as tight of an offense for Chiefs as we've seen earlier in the series. Forsos over the side, JNAP's up, but Forsos going to the 50-50 in the air. Novi's clear, goes into the middle. Jake will look for a read, sends it back to the corner. Forsos up. Solo player from Chiefs in the blue. Just hang back on the defensive line. Rizzo underneath 2. Forsos rotated back just in time to send it away. Keep it at 1 goal here with 3:15 left to go.
See how rarely Forsos retreats on defense unless he's fully needed, but G2 really have been turning it around, not giving them any more than 1, maybe 2 shot opportunities for every volley they've got.
Rizzo's bumps, they have to be getting into the head of Chiefs at this point. They've been scored so many times on those bumps. Even there when nobody was shooting, still able to get Jake. Jake now airborne, misses contact, Pranovi underneath, and he's following it along. He'll look for goalies himself. Intercepts Drippe. Won't be able to get as effective of a clear. Now Rizzo again, finding Forsos in net. JNAPS could find a shot. He'll look for the pass, but Drippe sends it away. As we approach halftime, still a 1-goal lead for G2.
They've figured out the timer. They know exactly where their rotations are, pulling out that defender, getting that demolition, and immediately trying to take a shot, but then retreating. No need to dedicate too hard, especially now, finding themselves 1 goal up still.
The 50-50 game slowly going more and more in their favor. The demo from JNAPS. Rizzo looking for Forsos, and just the zone's enough. Pranovi puts it in 2-0 G2.
Not gonna lie, watching this is absolutely tilting. I would go nuts if this minute demolitions happen for me on defense. You'll see 1 more. Forsos seeing the left. Pranovi really just playing him, putting it to the bottom corner. 2 goals up, G2 just past halftime.
Replacement from the former world champ, giving them that 2-goal lead. They hold on. Still got about half a game to play. Forsos up in the backboard. JNAP's soft in the way. Jake looking for Drippe. Not going to find his teammate. So moving out. Lofted high, Drippe. Soft touch down towards JNAPS. He'll pass to his teammate, North American MVP here. A land rookie. But arguably the strongest player on this G2 lineup. There goes in the middle. Drippe down the field. Looking for bumps, but don't find any. So again, patiently looking it over the top of Jake. It's just Drippe in the back. He gets the read and sends it back away. Buying his teammates time to fall back, but they immediately dismantle Jake again. The pass from Pranovi to Rizzo. Just looking at him toying with the ball, moving it around, not allowing Chiefs to have any contact.
G2 really hovering at that midfield. Playing that midfield play really just shuts down your opponents at all when they try and clear it out. But you need to be careful because 1 hard pinch or 1 unpredicted touch will push it past your midfield defender and leave your net wide open.
JNAPS with a very neutral 50-50. So puts it over. Also on the back wall, clear to the corner, but Pranovi's right there underneath 1. 58 seconds left. G2, another bump from Pranovi. Does it go in? No, it doesn't happen. Oh, but the defenders miss, and Rizzo sends it in. The bump's tilting enough to basically secure this game for G2.
You can just see the crumbling the moment the bumps start to happen. There will be panic no matter what, because somebody now has to change their entire decision. Someone has to come save you out of that decision, and then who knows who's going to be able to make it there in time. So you'll see them suffering yet again from another bump from G2. The most physical play I've ever seen out of this roster.
Absolutely clinical, and as you see Chiefs trying to move out onto the offense, they have to leave themselves open, and Pranovi punishes 4-0 G2.
Keeping their composure. This is what we were really worried about for G2. Would they be able to pull it off, especially considering this is JNAPS' first time at the RLCS stage? What I like is they're not relying on him. Really, Pranovi and Rizzo have been there just as dominantly. All 3 of them rotating cleanly, making sure no one has too much responsibility.
This has to be a sigh of relief for G2 and for G2 fans everywhere. They've been trying to get back to land for 3 seasons now, and finally they've gotten here. And it's going to take them 5 games where they will get this victory here over Chiefs in round number 1. They'll put in a nail in the coffin. It's going to be G2 with the win.
At this point, the Chiefs know this is done for. They don't want to dedicate too much effort into this. They're probably frustrated as it is. They know the loss. 5 goals in 28 seconds, that would be unprecedented. G2 is going to take the series and stay in the uppers.
5 goals in 5 minutes would be unprecedented. It's never happened. Largest comeback we've ever had was 4-0. Forsos is trying to put that one away. Jake back into the middle. Beautiful plays from G2 here. Chiefs with strong moments here, able to take 2 games, able to send us all the way to game 5. They had match point right there in front of them in game 4. But then 2 games straight, G2 will come back, and Chiefs will have to see how they fare in the lower bracket.
This proves both of the things that we all really wanted to see, that G2 came to play and they're bringing their A game, and that OCE is here to compete as well. You can doubt them last season all you want. They were able to take out a North American team, and here they are again bringing G2, probably one of the biggest fan favorites, to a game 5, nearly knocking them to the lower right off. So huge credit to Chiefs here.
Kronovi getting the MVP there in game number 5. Only player on the stage right now who's ever won a world champion. Only player on the stage right now who's been in that world championship match and still undefeated at LAN.
Kronovi really brought it out. I have to give him a lot of credit. They didn't rely too much on JNaps, as we talk about him, you know, the big knapsack that he was able to bring his team here to LAN, but I really enjoy the fact that they're all doing really, really well. Rizzo supporting, he was staying on defense intelligently whenever they were in the lead. There's really no point in dedicating too far, but the bumps from G2 are huge for me. I've never seen them play this physical. It worked so well, but I'd really like to see how it plays against other defenses from other regions.
It was some of the most clinical play we've seen from any of these teams, where you would watch a player move up, win the 50-50, win their touch and move it up, and then immediately look for a defender to remove them. It worked so effectively as G2 gets their first win.
I mean, it almost felt like a set piece. It almost felt like they were just prepping for it. It's like, okay, I'm going to take this shot, then I'm going to go for the goalie, and you just take a shot. The second person, just, I don't care. The second person, just take a shot. I'm going for goalie. But they knew to back out. They weren't overcommitting. They weren't feeling like, hey, that was close enough. Let's keep it up. So once they realized they didn't have full control, they'd back out on defense. Or Rizzo was just kind of already sitting back waiting. The one caveat to that is I don't want Rizzo to sit too far back, because there were a couple times that he could have been in a really bad 1v1 dribbling situation, but they played it very well in the series.
Well, that does it for us here for this match, but I know who everyone wants to hear from and who I want to hear from. Kronovi is on the stage with Golden Boy. Let's hear from him.
Guys, give it up. Look at that. So, let me see here. I haven't been here since season 1, and you haven't been here since season 1. So you're looking for some redemption here, my friend, aren't you?
Yeah, I think maybe it's a coincidence, but maybe it's meant to be. Maybe this is it.
I could be your good luck charm. You know, maybe this is it, though. Do you think that this is the event where G2 takes its Season 4 finals right here?
I think it definitely could be. I mean, we went to Game 5 with Oceania, but Chiefs are very good. I wouldn't underestimate them, and I think they're going to make a great lower bracket run. So we're going to stay focused, keep practicing. And I definitely think we can take it. I have to fight Turbo for the other world champion. I have to fight him now. So that's going to be a nice showdown.
Yeah, no, that'll be exciting for sure. Now, about that matchup, Chiefs came out the gate swinging, but something that I saw you guys make some adjustments on going into the mid games was you were really focusing on bumping and demoing as much as you possibly can. Most notably, you were focused on bumping and demoing Drippe because he was having an incredible series. So, was that always the plan, or did you realize, like, hey, they're leaving themselves exposed, so let's go ahead and push in?
We saw it working. We noticed Drippe getting a bunch of saves. I think they won that game 3 off of Drippe's insane saves. So we just started bumping more. It started working, and if it's not broke, don't fix it.
How was it getting JNaps accustomed to playing in this environment? Obviously, you being a seasoned player, a world champion in your own right, but how was it for him in particular, having not really been in this kind of environment before, and really just getting the team pumped up altogether?
JNaps has ice in his veins. This is his first time, but you wouldn't know. He's a monster.
Yeah, it was very clear. Congratulations on your victory. Looking forward to seeing that run throughout the bracket, guys. Give it up for Kronovi. Let's go ahead and send it over to the desk to break it all down.
Thank you, Golden Boy, and congrats to G2. You gotta imagine coming onto the stage the first time here this weekend, the nerves, but able to pull through. I feel like it started out a little slow, maybe for both teams, but ultimately, I feel like both were reaching exactly where they wanted to be, but maybe the demos were the difference.
They definitely both started off incredibly slow. There was a lot of hesitation in the midfield from both teams, and it wasn't the MVP versus MVP battle. Torsos was incredibly quiet. But as you said, with those bumps, Chiefs were hesitant, G2 were hesitant at all times in the midfield. That made them very demoable.
But I thought Drippe was just fantastic. 8 goals scored by Chiefs, 6 of them by Drippe. They were just, or he specifically was just carrying that team. Season 3 MVP for OCE. He was playing like a Season 4 MVP.
And Jake's already got the best goal of the entire tournament in game number 2 or something.
Yeah, the double tap off the corner, that was incredible.
And G2 had to figure it out. They were down 2-1. They had to figure it out, and that's not easy to do, especially in a World Championship environment. Let's take another look at the highlights in the form of the Mobile One high-performance replay as G2 able to bring it back and take it all the way to Game 5 for the victory.
But I want to shout out Rizzo. What a series from him. They completely changed their entire play style from the regional championships. It's always like we have Rizzo as our third. He was the #1, setting up passes and the demo after demo after demo. But game 1, Chiefs had it pretty much under control. Lots of shots.
The game 1, it was a dunk fest by OCE. The positioning I thought from Chiefs was spectacular. They were always blocking the shots. Game 1 on dunks by them. But G2, they just started to pick it up. They had a slow start, but their passing play started to work. Their physical play started to work. And then it seemed like Chiefs just started to lose that steam.
I think there were 3 goals the entire game from G2 that weren't bumps. I've never seen that strategy executed so well. And that is a strategy that on LAN is going to perform incredibly well against any team.
But then at the same time, Chiefs were not getting out of the way of these bumps. It seemed like every single one worked, and that's very surprising. Usually we see these teams try and dodge the bumps more, but it seemed like every single time there was an explosion in their net.
And Kronovi, in the Season 1 World Championship, he was the leading scorer in the entire tournament. He was the leading scorer in this series. So maybe this truly is going to be a season of redemption for G2.
I think it's a great start for G2. They've got some really tough matches coming up, and we'll have to see how that goes.
And remember, double elimination bracket, so the Chiefs are not out of it yet, and we've seen a lot of amazing lower bracket runs when we've had our World Championship. So what do you guys think Chiefs need to kind of readjust? In that lower bracket, what would you like to see them focus on as they move forward in the tournament?
So for me, it was all Torsauce. He seemed very shaky. Once again, the last time there was a live environment, he was the MVP, but he didn't show up at PAX. And that was just 2 weeks ago. It seemed to happen again here. So I think Jake and Drippe have to be like, hey, we have your back until you're ready to perform. Problem is, they have one more best of 5, and he needs to perform because it's going to be versus the loser of Method and Energy.
Yeah,
so
that's
either
not
one of
gonna
those
be
opponents
easy.
are tough.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's just playing with, you know, the same style that they had in the first game. They came out ready to win. They were on the precipice of taking that series. They just need to close it out.
There were a lot of whiffs coming out from Torsauce. There were misses, there were poor clears in defense, and there was even some open nets opportunities that he missed. He didn't get a single goal this game. He's never had a game, or he's never had a series where he didn't score at least 0.8 goals per game. It's a bit of an off run for him, and that's going to be really tough because they're going to have to verse the loser of Method up against NRG.
Yeah.
That is tough.
Well, they're going to have a little break here. They're not going to play again until tomorrow when those elimination matches occur. But the Chiefs drop into the lower bracket. G2 advancing on in the tournament. And again, they're facing off against Gale Force eSports. That's match number 5 on the day, later today. So G2 will be back. We're going to take a short break here from the World Championship at the MGM National Harbor. Make some noise, ladies and gents. When we come back, PSG going up against Pale Horse as our World Championship continues.